She went missing in her car from Glencoe to Gadsden, and she just vanished without a trace.
Today marks 2 years since Lorene Virginia Collier was last seen in the Glencoe area.
Officers haven't received any tips that have led them closer to figuring out where Collier may be. Family still has hope.
But in my heart, I think Virginia's still alive.
Let's talk about what we know about this case so far. Her name is Virginia Collier, and she is 84 years young. She was driving from Florida to come up here and see her two brothers. One brother lives in Glencoe, Alabama, and the other one lives about 10 minutes away up in Gadsden, Alabama. Somewhere in between Glencoe and Gadsden, she vanished. Her and her car has not been seen from since, and it's been 2 years. She was driving a 2019 Kia Optima. Electric blue was the color, and that just means it's a shade of blue. So we're just gonna stick with blue. It had Florida tags on it. 1175MQ was the tag number. It'll be on the screen. Jared from the YouTube channel Adventures with Purpose came here about 7 months ago with Sam the Adventure Man, and they did an investigation searching for her. They started at brother number one's house, and they took the path that they would have thought she would have taken, the most common path. Now, the word is she does not like to get on the highways, so she kept to the back roads. Jared stopped at 3 or 4 locations, searched the rivers and lakes really good, ultimately went in and did some sonar in the river. Unfortunately, they did not find her, but they did cover a lot of ground. So what my plan is today is I'm going to reach outside the box, and I'm going to look at places that there may be a 1 in a million chance she may have ended up there. So I'm going to look over some areas that you never would have thought she could have ended up, and quite possibly we might just be able to find her today. Let me tell you a little bit more about the 4 spots that we're gonna hit today. The first spot we're gonna go to is right across the street, and we're gonna go all the way until it dead ends. Now, my theory is maybe she made it down that road and she just kept driving, didn't see the barricade, and went right through it and went down into the woods. At the bottom of the ravine is the river. There is a slight chance that that could have happened. Did it happen? Probably not, but we're gonna check that area anyways. The second spot is part of the highway that curves, and on the other side is a little marshy area connected to the river. Now, our theory on this spot is maybe she took that curve too hard, or maybe she somehow jumped the guardrail and rolled into the water and nobody's seen it. Slim chance. Once again, I want to search that spot. The third spot is an exit ramp that takes you off the highway, and then you have to do pretty much a U-turn, and then you go down to a stop sign, and then you got to go left or right. If you go straight, you're going to end up right in the river, and that's where I'm thinking. Now, if none of these spots pan out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in the river, and I'm going to spend the rest of the time I'm here in town sonaring the river and seeing if I can find anything that may look like a car. At the end of the day, ultimately, all we want to do is bring Virginia home, give her family some closure. So let's start today's video, and let's start with spot number 1. We are gonna head to the first spot right now. And while we're heading to these spots, I'm going to answer some questions that I just know people are already gonna wanna ask in the comments, and I'm just gonna put some of these comments to bed right now before it gets too crazy. The very first question I wanna address right now that's gonna come up, Jeremy, why are you doing this? You don't search for missing people, you're a treasure hunter. Well, let me tell you something about Jeremy. I like to help people, right? I think it feels good. And like, for instance, if I see a homeless person on the side of the street and they're obviously thirsty or hungry, I give them a sandwich or I give them some water or something like that, right? Well, this is no different. I want to help find this lady and bring her home. And that's it, cut and dry. And I'm making a video about it because that's what I do. Another question I think might come up is, Jeremy, have you contacted the family, let them know you're coming? And the answer is no. This lady has been missing for 2 years, and I don't want to contact the family and give them false hope that we're going to bring closure today, and then I strike out, and then their heart is broken all over again. Now, if I come here and we find her, then that's a totally different story. But for now, we're going to keep it a secret. It's just between me and a couple other guys, and we'll play it by ear and see what happens as the day goes on. All right, so we're coming up on the first spot where the road dead ends,
And this is a super far-fetched idea because it looks like this land is very well maintained. Let's get out and take a closer look. So right off the bat, you can see over here, there's a gated house, I guess. This is the river house right there. Very well maintained private property. It's got this fancy wooden fence. I think if somebody would have came through here, they would have hit these trees. They would have busted through the fence, you know, and then if they magically would have made it all the way to the river, I mean, somebody would have had to spot that, because this has been selective clear-cutted, if you know what that means, which means they chop down some of the trees, they leave the other trees to make it look pretty and kind of well-maintained. Nothing out here is going to hide a car. Just by looking at this spot, I think it's busted. I don't think she's at this location, but there is water down there. There's a 1 in a billion chance she may have somehow made it through this stuff, through the bushes and into the water. I definitely don't think that happens, but we are going to be in the river later doing sonar, so we can come by this spot and take a look while we're searching. Okay. So the next spot we're gonna head to is the gradual turn where she may have jumped the guardrail and rolled into the water. I have no idea how deep the water is or what it looks like, but we're gonna go over there, look around, and ultimately we're gonna get the boat in the water and we're gonna search all this area really good. So as we're leaving the first spot, I'm glancing off here out of my window and I'm noticing all these houses. There's all these tiny little access points to the river, and I know I'm reaching, but what if she somehow just plowed through somebody's yard and ended up in the river and nobody's seen it? You know, like, the chances are so minute, but there's always a chance. We're at the second spot where if she would have hit the guardrail and jumped it, she would have rolled and then maybe made it to the water. Let me show you what I'm looking at here, and then I'm gonna come up with a game plan. This one we might have to search with the boat because I don't think we can get there by the road because it's a highway. All right, so I'm down here by the water. I'm on the other side of where the curved road is with the guardrail up there. And I got the GoPro, so the wide angle's not helping with zooming in, but this whole section pretty much has a curve to it with the road. And who's to say she wasn't going down this road and somehow jumped the curb and hit the guardrail and rolled? Now, I don't think she's submerged underwater right here. It just looks too shallow and too much trees. But who's to say her car isn't sitting over here in this thicket somewhere and nobody just hasn't seen it yet? You know, it's far-fetched, I know. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go meet up with the other guys over at the boat dock. We're gonna get the boats in the water, and then we're gonna start scouring all the waterways and just see if we can come across something. And if we find something that's suspect, we're gonna dive it. But let's go meet up with them right now.
Besides myself, I also got Georgia River Boys out here and Britton from the YouTube channel Depths of History. Both of them are gonna team up on his boat and do some sonar, and then I'm gonna go solo on my boat and shoot some sonar. We can double the coverage and cover more ground. So if one of us does find something, we're gonna team up and gather up in that one spot, dive it, figure out what it is, and go from there. So today I finally get to use my AWP boat. I got it from Jared. It's an amazing boat. I'm gonna set it up right now. We're gonna get in the water and we're gonna see what we can find.
All right, so without boring you guys too much, I got the AWP boat put together. I got my sonar running, and we're just gonna spend the day searching this thing. Hopefully we find something. So it looks like the water is like 24, 25 foot deep, really murky. We got lots of trees in the water. I got me a Lowrance HDS9. It's a few years old. It's not the best, it's not the worst. It's what I'm working with today. It's doing the job. Hopefully we'll spot something that we can identify. I guess it does work pretty good. You can see I just went over a big underwater pipe or something, and you can clearly tell it's a pipe, so that's pretty cool. That gives me a little motivation that I can spot a car if I come across one with this thing. I don't know what that is. That's a big old, probably a tree stump or something, but it's huge. That's crazy. Out here into the middle, right here, this is out towards the middle of the river. That is nothing, it looks like nothing but like logs. That is crazy. See all these wavy lines? Boat just zipped past me, and that's like causing the boat, you know, all the wake. So, whoops. Check that out right there. See that massive darkness? Right out here in the middle somewhere, it just drops straight off, and there's a huge ledge. That's what that is. That's so cool. This sonar is neater than hell. I tell you, I like doing this. Even if I don't find anything, it's fun to learn how to use it and just, you know, just fun. I've went over something a few times, and I saved it as a waypoint. I'm trying to narrow it down with only one side, because you can see it better with the one side. Like I said, my sonar is not the best, so we're gonna try and catch it on the right side of the boat. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it looks like a car or not, but it looks like a structure. There it is, coming up right here. I mean, I don't see any wheels, any tires, anything. You see it right there? I don't think that's a car, and it's right out here in the middle. I don't know what it could be, but it doesn't look like a car. We'll do one more pass over and see what we're looking at. All right, we got the boat turned around. Let's see if we can find that again, get a good shot of it. There it comes. Not a very good shot of it. You see it right there. Sure doesn't look like a car. It's something, but I think it's just probably a structure, old bridge or something, but I don't know. So I don't think that was a car. We're like literally in the middle of the river. No easy way for a car to get here. So I don't think that was it. But what we're gonna do is we're just gonna keep on going down. We might get some rain here in a minute, but at least it's cloudy, so I'm not burning up. So let's just keep on keeping on, see what else we can find. All right, we've been cruising for a few miles now. Man, I mean, we're way downstream, but it looks like it opens up and goes around here, and I think this is like just a huge pool area. I know that there's a boat ramp over here, so let's go check this area really good, see if we can find anything in the water, and then we're just gonna loop around and we're just gonna keep on heading downstream. Oh shit, it got super shallow right here. Dropped like 5 feet. Let's get out here before we hit the bottom. And look at that, that's a huge ball of bait fish right there. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's do a little recap for the day so far. I've been out here about 2 hours, very hot. Haven't found much of anything, no hits yet. Still making my way down to the very first spot I showed you to begin with. Then we're gonna make our way back, hit spot number 2. And then if we strike out, I guess that's it for the day. But we're keep on going because we got lots of daylight left. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so I know I said that we're gonna go scan the spot, the first spot that I went to. But I mean, we are burning daylight and I'm not even close to that spot yet. So I think we're gonna have to put that one on hold, and we're gonna go back closer to town and hit up that one spot and then go back to spot number 3. And then if we can't, we'll see what happens. You can see right up here by the road, the guardrail smashed. So something hit it. I don't know how new or old it was. I'm not getting any signals on the sonar, but that's the kind of stuff I'm kind of looking for, is indications that there was a wreck somewhere. But I just don't think this is the spot. Okay, so we've made it to spot number 2. Remember when I showed you earlier, I was standing there and I pointed to the guardrail where it could have rolled? We're coming up on that. Now here's my concern with this spot. If the car even made it to the water, we're looking at 6 feet, maybe 7 feet at the most. So if it landed perfectly upside down or on its wheels, it could be underwater, but only by a foot or 2. I don't think it's in the water. If it did jump the guardrail and roll, it's gonna be stuck in the woods. And I'll peek around this area and see if I can spot it. But if not, then we're gonna go back to spot 3 and search that area really good and see what happens. We're looking at 5 foot 7 inches. There is really nothing around. There's a lot of fish, but I'm not seeing any tires. I'm not seeing any trash. We'll get right up here to the edge, and then we'll do a good scan and see if there's anything in the water. All right, there's the guardrail that I could see earlier. And actually, we are so shallow that it's not even reading, but it was like 2 feet a second ago. So I need to turn this thing around and go back before we get stuck. But up here, there's no way a car could be hidden in the water. Well, it's just not possible. But it could be up there in the woods, but I'm not seeing it. I mean, we'll scan it really good. Crap, I just bottomed out. Oops. Might have to get my my pushers out. I am stuck. Crap. I got a pillow. I ran over a pillow. Now it's stuck in the prop. So now I gotta get that out. All right. I got out of that mess. I got a pillow stuck on my prop and had cotton wrapped in it, so I had to go to the side. I didn't take the camera, but I did look around. No car. The water's like 3 foot deep up where she could have jumped the curb or jumped the guardrail. So she's not here. So let's go back up to where we started and then go upstream a little bit more and search around that spot number 3 I was telling you about. We're getting back up closer to the city and you can see tire. There's a couple tires up there. Tire. People just throwing their tires off right here. Kind of sad, but I'm not seeing any cars attached to those tires. I don't know what I'm going over, man, but it is massive out in the middle of the river. I don't know if it was like an old dam or road or a sunken barge maybe, but man, it's huge, whatever that thing is. But we just got done with spot number 3. No dice. There was a couple things I saw, but I think it just ended up being like old boulders or pillars or something. The rain is starting in and I think it's going to shut me down for the day, but let's get everything packed up and let's do a recap for today. Wow, what a day. I'm pretty sure I am burned to a crisp. I didn't even think about putting on any sunscreen. As you can see, we got rained out, but I spent a solid, we're gonna say 4 hours on the river searching for Virginia. And sadly, we did not find her, but we did cover a lot of ground, a lot of places that we could put to rest that she's not there, but that just adds to the mystery. Where did she go? Now, there is a chance that she made a complete opposite turn than what everybody's thinking, and she went back to Florida or something, and maybe she got lost along the way that way. Nobody knows, but what we do know is she's still missing, her car is still missing, and there's not a trace of her anywhere. So, if you guys got any tips, if you have heard anything out there, make sure you call the phone number on the screen right now. It'll also be linked in the description down below. And other than that, we will continue the search. Make sure you guys get out there, be proactive if you're in the Gadsden area. Help out, search in the woods. She might be out there, you never know. Until we meet again though, my name is Jerry, and I'll see you on the next search. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I got off the river just in time.